Okay guys, we're going to look at the upper extremity now. Here, this is the longest bone that comprised the arm portion of the upper extremity. So now we're looking at the humerus. So guys, tell me, is this a right or left humerus?
Right.
A right. So this is a right humerus. Now guys, remember the directions. I'm going to tell you over and over again, do not dump the directions. We're going to go from the proximal humerus down to the distal humerus. And guys, so we're looking right now at the right humerus from an anterior view. Now, here, this is considered the long bone of the arm. Now, the first piece we're going to look at is this rounded area right here. So this is known as the head of the humerus. And again, guys, just to recap a little bit for review, that head of the humerus articulates with the glenoid cavity or the glenoid fossa to form the shoulder joint, the humeral joint, or the glenohumeral joint. All are correct. Now guys, after we look at the humerus, and remember guys, this is a smooth hemispherical enlargement at the proximal end of the humerus. And guys, you can find all this information on table 13.1 in your A&P book. Now, here guys, if I was to draw an imaginary oblique line, if I can say that, around the head of the humerus, that feature is known as the anatomical neck, and is considered an oblique groove just below the head. Now, if we go and look most lateral, even though guys, okay, this is plastic, made in China, so the imperfections are there. Now, if you look at this round projection, most lateral to the humerus, this is considered lateral. This is considered the greater tubercle of the humerus. And then if you come to this so-called smaller projection, more medial on the proximal end of the humerus, this is the lesser tubercle. So more lateral, the greater tubercle, more medial, the lesser tubercle. Now guys, if you look at this deep groove in between the greater and lesser tubercle, guys, this is called the intertubercular groove, also known as the intertubercular sulcus, the bicipital groove, or the bicipital sulcus. Guys, this is where the biceps tendon run and attach proximally. The next feature, guys, if I put my little finger like around here, or my large finger, around here, this feature here is considered the surgical neck. Okay? Now, if you move from proximal down to distal, remember this is the shaft of the bone. If you come about mid-shaft of the humerus to this roughened area, guys, this is considered the deltoid tuberosity. This is where the anterior, the middle, and the posterior fibers of the deltoid leave the shoulder and come attached to. So that's why it's called the deltoid tuberosity. Now guys, we're going to keep going down to the distal end of the humerus. Now, if you look at this medial portion of the humerus, this here is known as the medial epicondyle. Now, when there's a medial epicondyle, there is a lateral epicondyle. So just remember, the medial epicondyle is on the medial surface, the lateral epicondyle is on the lateral surface. The medial epicondyle is also on the same side as the head of the humerus. Now, when you have this big rounded area right here, on the lateral side, this is known as the capitulum. And then when you go medial, this is known as the trochlea. Okay? Now we have a few more features we have to identify. Now also on the trochlea side, we have the coronoid fossa. On the capitulum side, we have the radial fossa. Okay? Now, we still have a few more features to identify. So right here, if we was to come right out of this fossa, about right here, this would be the medial condyle. If we was to come out of this little fossa right here, a little, this would be the lateral condyle. Okay, so that's all the features on the anterior side of the humerus, other than the lateral supracondylar ridge and the medial supracondylar ridge. Okay, so now let's recap, because that was quite a few features. So I'm going to identify the features based on the numbers in your book. So number 1 in your book, this is the head of the humerus. Let me draw that imaginary line around here. Number 2 in your book, this would be the anatomical neck. Number 3 in your book, this would be the greater tubercle. Number 4 in your book, this would be the lesser tubercle. Number 5 in your book, this would be the bicipital groove in between the greater and lesser tubercle. Number 7 in your book, this would be the deltoid tuberosity about mid-shaft. Number 8 in your book, this is the body, the shaft of the humerus. Number 10 in your book, this would be the lateral supracondylar ridge. Number 11 in your book, this would be the medial supracondylar ridge. Number 12 in your book, this would be the lateral condyle. Number 13 in your book, this would be the medial condyle. Number 14 in your book, this would be the lateral epicondyle. Number 15 in your book, this would be the medial epicondyle. And number 17 in your book, this would be the coronoid fossa. Number 16 in your book, this would be the radial fossa. Number 20 in your book, this would be the capitulum. And number 19 in your book would be the trochlea. And that's all the features on the anterior surface of the humerus.